Good evening, everyone. Come on and let's make one of my favorite breakfasts. But we're going to do this breakfast for dinner. So let me go ahead on and get my pan hot. I do have my oven already heated, preheated, should I say. So let's go ahead on and we're gonna put some bacon in the oven. So let's go ahead on and put that in there. Do that first. Okay, so I just simply have some bacon. And I'm gonna bring out about that much. And we're getting ready to throw this bacon in the oven. Then we'll move on to our next dish. As you can see, I have my griddle here getting warm. That fire on low. Let me go ahead on and layer this bacon on this cookie sheet. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's week going? One thing I do enjoy doing is eating exactly what I have a taste for. And this is actually what I have a taste for. So as this bacon bakes and cooks, it will do what it's going to do. Okay, so I'll go ahead on and put this bacon in the oven. That oven is preheated, so I need to work fast. Next dish. Will be some buttermilk pancakes. Okay? So we're getting ready to do some buttermilk pancakes. In these buttermilk pancakes, I am going to add 2 cups or maybe 1.5 cups of buttermilk. This here I do measure. Okay, so I have my 1/2 cup of buttermilk going right into those cakes. I am also going in with a 1/2 cup of water. Okay. So while I'm at it, let me go ahead on and start my dishwater. As I'm cooking, I always start that dishwater. And while that water is hot, let's go ahead on and utilize it. I always add a little bleach in my water. So let's go ahead on and get that dishwater ready. While that water is running, let's go ahead on and whip these pancakes up. As you're whipping them up, you will be able to tell from the consistency if you need to add anything else. In this case, these are still thick. So I'm going to add a little more water because I know I have enough of buttermilk. So it is whisking these buttermilk pancakes up. Are y'all with me? Can you see it? And you're going to just whip them until they are creamy. I'm going to go around the bowl with my spoon to make sure that I have all of my ingredients sure nothing is stuck at the bottom. Always rinse everything off before I just put it in my dishwater. Okay, so whip this milk into this batter. Whip. Can't say I'm not getting my exercise. But baby, when you whipping up pancakes, I could use my hand mixer, my electric blender. But why use that when I can do it the old school way? Because we didn't always have all these electric appliances. And I like to do it just the way my grandma did it. Just the way my mom did it. Okay, I'm gonna move my tea kettle over here because I do have that oven on. And I am going to begin to drop my cakes. And I'm not messing up all these dishes. So let me go ahead and grab this big spoon. And I use this big spoon as a way to measure my batter. Okay? That's what I do. And I also, as a habit, I clean as I go. And it's hot, so let me go ahead on and get the buttermilk back in the refrigerator. You don't want to leave any dairy products out. Okay, so let's go ahead on and get this batter back in the refrigerator. This milk. I am also coming back after I complete this video because we are going to make some cilantro lime rice. Why? Because I have some amazing chili beans and I am going to make some jasmine cilantro lime rice. Stay tuned. Next video. Let's focus on this for now. Turn the fire on up just a tad bit so we can get that griddle hot. I'm gonna go back over your batter. And what I've learned is if you don't see any bubbles in that batter, then that batter is not whipped enough. You want to see some bubbles in your batter. And this is what I mean by if you could see that. You see those bubbles in this batter? Let me bring you down here with me. Y'all see those bubbles in that batter? That lets you know that it's whipped as it should be. And we can now move forward with dropping our cakes. Let me grab a plate. So as I bring them off, okay. I'm gonna take my brush and brush this griddle because I want to make sure that the griddle is oiled properly. There's no dry spots. And I use oil versus butter because I like that crispy edge. Okay. Sometimes it looks like you have too much. Excuse me. But just keep going because trust the process. Now I'm going to turn that to the side That griddle is hot. And let me go ahead and drop these cakes. And that's all it needs is a spoonful. Being that she's cooking it a little too high, a little too fast, I'm gonna turn her down. And then you're just gonna simply, when you see those bubbles on each side of those cakes, you're gonna go ahead on and flip her, okay? Act like you want to stick. You want to go ahead and make sure that there are some oil up under there. Give her a flip. When there's an indication of sticking, you know that there's no oil there. That's where that extra oil comes in handy at. Get over there, back where you were, because it's time to flip your sister. Okay? And I could see turn that fire down. You know how you take your kids out somewhere and just when you think they're gonna be good is when they act up. That's what this griddle is doing today. But she gonna do what she do, baby. But one thing I don't accept is failure. You can fall, but you have to get back up. Don't lay there. And anything you do in life, you make a mistake, you fall, get up, keep going. And I like for my cakes to cook with crispy edges. Okay? And normally she only needs one flip. And when it's done, you'll know. Those, my darling, are homemade buttermilk pancakes. And I'm going to go ahead on and bring her off. And she's ready. As I bring them off, I'm going to go ahead and hit each one with some butter. Okay. I like to clean my griddle as I go. And all those little pieces, just gonna bring them out. And running from those we used to take and put on a small plate, and those be your snack. Okay, we're gonna bring them on off, and we're gonna get ready to do the next batch. Gonna have a look at that oven, checking on that bacon as soon as I get the next batch on. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and scrape them scraps off. I'm gonna go ahead and re-oil my griddle. Let that oil heat up. But bacon is looking good. It's cooking on up. I've already did the sausage. Just gonna sit that there so that they can stay warm. Go ahead and put this bacon back as well. Thinking I'm gonna cut up a cantaloupe for our fruit. Sometimes you can see that you do have just a little too much oil. All you do is get you a little cup and pour off some of the excess of that oil. Just get that over the sink. But I didn't. Okay? Because you don't want to have too much oil to where your pancakes are drowned out. We want to taste the pancake, not the oil. And you can make your cakes as big as you like. Mine each get a scoop. Okay. That's all they need is a scoop. And for my oil of choice for these cakes, I'm just using vegetable oil. You want to make sure that each of those cakes are getting to where they have enough oil where they don't stick. Y'all know I have my ice. So when you hear me smacking, that's all it is. I absolutely love my ice. Since this one is easiest to get to, and it's showing bubbles all over, you know that you want to go ahead on it. Flip it. Making sure that it has enough oil. And if you see that you don't have enough oil, you can always go back and drizzle so that they're not dry. Everybody want a dry pancake. Come on now, y'all are siblings and you have to share. Go give your brother some of that oil. Quit being selfish. Come on, baby. Flip for me, baby. I normally would have my cakes in the oven on warm, but I have my oven on, and I am utilizing the heat from that oil to keep this plate warm, and it's going to do just that. It's a whole lot going on out here in this Facebook streets, as they call it. But I am going to say that where there's a bunch of confusion, God's not in it. God is not of confusion. And in your word, it tells you that. So what I do is my business, continue to support and follow who inspire me, because life is lifing right now for everyone. Everyone has something going on, and life is just lifing. And I'm going to keep everyone lifted up in prayer. And this too shall pass. This too shall pass. So we remember, after we take each one out, we just gonna go ahead on and make sure she's buttered down. When it comes to my pancakes, and the butter from that one, when I place this one, is going to utilize some of that butter. Oh, she's using all that butter. Baby, my cholesterol is better than it has ever been. And yes, I'm using all that butter. Okay? Got some at the bottom. And she's going to get some at the top. And remember, the one that's coming behind it is going to also absorb that butter that's on top. This one right here. She's going right on top of that. Okay? So I'm just simply repeating the steps. Let me take a peek at this bacon. And she's ready, so I'm going to go ahead on and turn my oven off. And let me get my pan, my bowl that I am going to put that bacon in. Do it quick, Steph. Do it quick. Gotta think. All right. I'm gonna just go ahead on and utilize this one because I already have it out. And we're just gonna go ahead on and utilize that. Let me turn the fire off and we add some more oil so it can be heating up. It's time to bring this bacon out. Let me get my holder. I have my bowl over there ready. Oven is off. And I am going to simply drain my bacon. This is where I like to stop my bacon at. I'm not one to like that hard, crispy bacon. I like my bacon like that there. Okay? Just gonna sit here right over top those sausages. Gonna put my oil. I do save my grease from my bacon, yes I do. And just going to allow that bacon to continue to cook on that grill. And that's how I like my bacon. Okay, this one here could have cooked a little bit more. But we're gonna stop her right there. Because that's how I like it. Making sure that all of this griddle is oiled. And I'm almost done with these cakes. This may be the last drop. Let's see. When it sits, it gets flat, meaning all the ingredients are settling at the bottom. So you want to see bubbles in your batter. So you're going to go ahead and get her right and get ready to drop that next batch. She's getting a little bit more because that spoon wasn't full, like I like it. Okay. I'm looking down here in this cabinet, and I'm not seeing no Mrs. Butterworth at all. So I'm hoping that, turn that fire back on up. I'm hoping that I do have some syrup. I see another bottle back there, but I can't reach it. Maybe if I pull this oil out, put it down. And nope, I'm out of syrup. But what I do have is some Karo syrup. And back in the day, this is what we used when we didn't have. Remember how we would take that Karo syrup and put it in the baby's bottles with water, and it helped for digestion. It helped for several things. I have used Karo syrup a couple of times raising my children for certain things. And remember when it was that shortage and no one could find Similac, Enfamil? It was a shortage on formula. And I kept saying to myself, I have grandchildren, and this shortage on milk, on baby's milk, is affecting my grandkids too. So what I told my daughter was the recipe to make your own homemade Similac. and add a little baby cereal, rice cereal in there, and make you a picture of it and put it on in the refrigerator and quit stressing out about not it being any milk anywhere. So that's what we did. But I chose to breastfeed, so I didn't worry about if it ever was a milk shortage. But one thing about these breasts right here, they stay with milk. And my daughters also completely breastfed their children. But when they got to the second one, they just didn't have the desire to anymore. But understand that, you know, every woman has their choice, whether they bottle feed or whether they breastfeed. But it's absolutely the best milk that you can ever give your baby. It's strictly from your breast. And I'm really glad that they have fixed that stereotype about mothers breastfeeding in public. That was crazy to me. Because, baby, I tell you what, wherever mine got hungry at, that nipple was coming out. And of course, I took a receiving blanket and covered my shoulder. So if you ain't just deep down looking, you ain't gonna see nothing. Ain't got no business looking that hard. Pay attention to what I'm doing anyhow. So that's it, everyone. I have my pancakes made. I have my bacon made. And just to keep that bacon warm, I'm gonna put it back in the oven. That oven is off. It's only the heat in there. I am also going to take my sausage and I'm going to throw those back in the oven. I'm not a big microwave person. I'd rather heat my food back up in the oven. And there you have it, baby. Those are those buttermilk flapjacks, and that's dinner. So let me go ahead while those are cooking and get my eggs together. Okay, so let me go ahead on and get my eggs together, keeping my eye on that griddle. And I'm doing a total of 5 eggs. Make your eggs according to your family size. Okay? So I'm just going to simply season my eggs. Let's move this. Okay, can y'all see those eggs there? I have cracked 5 eggs, and I'm just going to go ahead on and season my eggs with some kosher salt. Keeping my eye on these flapjacks, pancakes, whichever one you choose to call them, flapjacks, pancakes. You don't know, get back over there, girl. Let's turn that fire down.